Welcome back to our channel. Got pennies from 1979, 1987, 1997, or even 2018? They might look ordinary, but some of these Lincoln cents hide rare mint errors, valuable varieties, and collector demand. Don't toss them away. Like and subscribe to find out if your penny is worth hundreds or even thousands. In a world where coins often pass through our hands unnoticed, there exists a quiet marvel that tells a story of imperfection, rarity, and immense value. It's small, unassuming, and easy to overlook, just a penny, dated 1979. But this isn't any ordinary 1-cent piece. It's a very rare 1979 US 1-cent penny, a coin that has stirred the coin collecting world with its unexpected flaws and jaw-dropping worth. While most pennies from this era are still lost in piggy banks or resting at the bottom of old drawers, this particular era version of the 1979 penny has become a highly prized possession, fetching tens of thousands of dollars and captivating the imaginations of collectors and everyday people alike. The year 1979 was a busy one at the United States Mint. Billions of pennies were struck across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco facilities. These were the Lincoln cents, bearing the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Since 1959, the Lincoln Memorial design had been in use, replacing the earlier wheat ears that once graced the reverse side. By 1979, Americans were used to this look. It was everywhere. The copper coins jingled in pockets, slipped into vending machines, and tumbled through cash registers daily. But hidden among those billions of seemingly ordinary coins, a few carried a secret that would not be discovered until years later, an error that turned a common penny into a rare gem. These error coins didn't scream for attention. In fact, unless you knew exactly what to look for, you could easily miss them. But to a trained eye or a lucky observer, their differences became instantly fascinating. One of the most well-known error types found in the 1979 penny is the double die. This occurs when the coin die, the metal stamp used to strike the image onto the blank planchet, is misaligned during production. As a result, the images or inscriptions on the coin appear doubled, creating a shadowed, almost ghost-like effect on key features like the date, the word liberty, or the phrase, "In God We Trust." This doubling is not subtle once you know what you're looking at. It creates a striking visual that separates the coin from the millions of others minted that year. Another remarkable error seen in the 1979 penny is the off-center strike. This happens when the planchet is not correctly aligned under the die before it is struck. The result is a coin with part of its design missing, pushed toward one edge and leaving a blank crescent of smooth copper on the other side. The more off-center the strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date is still fully visible. Some 1979 pennies have been discovered with dramatic off-center strikes, making them instantly desirable to collectors seeking standout pieces. Perhaps the most exciting of all are the coins struck on the wrong planchets. This occurs when a planchet intended for a different denomination, sometimes even from a different country, accidentally finds its way into the wrong press. In rare cases, 1979 Lincoln cents were struck on dime planchets or on foreign planchets that had made their way into the mint's inventory. These coins are typically lighter or smaller than a regular penny and have a silver tone instead of the traditional copper color. Their odd size, unusual color, and unexpected metal composition make them instantly noticeable and incredibly rare. Just imagine discovering one of these coins by accident. Maybe it's in your change after buying coffee, or maybe you find it tucked inside an old penny jar at a relative's house. You spot something strange about it, a shine that's different, a weight that feels off, or a design that doesn't quite match the others. You take a closer look. You check the date. It reads 1979. Something clicks. That penny you've just pulled from obscurity could be worth a fortune. For those lucky enough to own a 1979 era penny, the thrill of discovery is often followed by the desire to confirm its authenticity and value. That's where professional grading services come into play. Companies like PCGS and NGC evaluate coins for their condition, strike quality, and, most importantly, the presence and clarity of the error. Coins that earn a high grade, meaning they're in near-perfect condition, command even higher prices. A mint state or uncirculated 1979-era penny with a well-defined double die or a bold off-center strike can skyrocket in value, especially if it's a one-of-a-kind piece. Collectors are drawn to these coins not just for their financial value, but for what they represent: a glitch in the system, a rare moment when precision gave way to chaos, and something unusual slipped through. These coins tell a story of the mint's massive operations, the delicate balance of machinery and manpower, and the occasional misstep that leads to a numismatic miracle. Owning such a coin is like holding a tiny, historical accident in your hand, one that just happens to be worth thousands of dollars. The 1979 penny has grown in popularity among collectors not only because of its rarity but because of its relatability. Everyone knows the penny. It's the most familiar coin in circulation, often overlooked and underestimated. So the idea that one of these tiny, ordinary coins could be hiding such extraordinary value is part of what makes the hunt so exciting. It turns pocket change into a treasure hunt. It makes the mundane magical. Every time you receive a penny in change, the thought may now cross your mind: what if this is the one? Coin forums, collector websites, and YouTube channels have exploded with discussions about the 1979-era penny. Close-up videos highlight the doubled lettering, misaligned strikes, and odd weights. Social media platforms buzz with photos of discoveries, grading results, and auction wins. The community around this coin continues to grow, bringing in both veteran collectors and newcomers inspired by the thrill of the chase. Even now, decades after these coins were minted, their value continues to rise. Scarcity increases as more coins are discovered and claimed by collectors, leaving fewer in circulation. Auction houses have seen dramatic bidding wars over top-quality 1979-era pennies. Private sales have confirmed jaw-dropping price tags. And for every coin that surfaces, there's the lingering possibility that others still remain hidden, in sock drawers, in change jars, in old coin rolls quietly waiting to be found. The story of the 1979 1-cent-era penny is a powerful reminder that even the smallest things can carry great significance. It teaches us that sometimes the most valuable discoveries come from the most unexpected places. These pennies are not just currency. They're pieces of art, slices of history, and tangible reminders that perfection is not always the goal. Sometimes, it's the imperfection that holds the real magic. So the next time you handle a penny, especially one minted in 1979, take a moment. Look at the details. Study the edges, the lettering, the weight, the shine. You might find something unusual. You might hold it up to the light and see a doubling where none should be, or an off-center strike that makes the image look like it's slipping away. And if you're lucky enough to spot that rare combination of age, error, and condition, you could be holding something far more valuable than you ever imagined. Today, the value of a very rare 1979 US 1-cent penny with a significant mint error can range from an impressive $48,000 to a staggering $125,000. That's right, a coin once worth just 1 cent can now be worth more than a luxury car or a down payment on a house. All because of a mistake, a moment of misalignment, and a coin that somehow slipped past the strict eyes of the mint. It's a numismatic marvel, a piece of American coin history, and a reminder that treasures still exist in the most ordinary places. In the everyday rhythm of life, few people pause to notice the coins that pass through their hands. A penny is often the least regarded, dismissed without thought, dropped into jars, or forgotten at the bottom of pockets. But every so often, hidden among the ordinary, lies something truly exceptional. One such example is the very rare 1987 US 1-cent penny, a coin that looks almost identical to the billions of others produced that year, yet carries a secret that makes it worth tens of thousands of dollars. This is not just any coin. This is a treasure born from error, a product of imperfection, and a numismatic marvel that has turned heads and captured imaginations across the collector world. The year was 1987. The United States Mint was in full swing, producing hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents to meet the demands of daily commerce. The design remained familiar: President Abraham Lincoln's solemn profile on the obverse, the Lincoln Memorial stretching wide across the reverse. By this time, the penny had already undergone a major change in composition, having shifted from the traditional bronze alloy to a copper-plated zinc core in 1982. The newer pennies weighed less and had a brighter, sometimes more delicate sheen. Yet the shift in materials also introduced new challenges, especially in the striking and quality control process. These challenges, when combined with the vast scale of production, created the perfect environment for rare errors to occur. Most people never noticed anything unusual about their 1987 pennies. They went about their days, never suspecting that nestled within a handful of change could be a coin with a mistake so dramatic, so distinct, that it would one day be worth a fortune. These error coins were not immediately apparent. They didn't shout for attention. But to those who knew what to look for, the signs were unmistakable. The most prominent of these errors were double die strikes, where letters and numbers appeared to have been duplicated, slightly offset, as if a shadow were cast in copper. Liberty would shimmer unnaturally. The date, 1987, would look slightly split or echoed. In God We Trust, would appear thickened, almost distorted. These weren't printing tricks or wear and tear, they were true minting anomalies, mistakes made during the creation of the dies used to strike the coins themselves. Another fascinating and valuable error found on some 1987 pennies was the off-center strike. When the blank planchet is not correctly aligned during minting, the resulting coin shows a skewed or incomplete design. The more off-center the strike, the rarer and more desirable the coin becomes. Some off-center 1987 cents display only part of Lincoln's profile, or show a crescent-shaped blank space on one side. If the date remains visible despite the misalignment, the coin's value increases dramatically. These coins, with their curious deformities and clear evidence of minting mishap, become prized artifacts in collections centered around error coins, but the story doesn't end there. Among the most intriguing errors associated with the 1987 penny are those struck on the wrong planchet. This happens when a blank meant for a different denomination, or even from another country, is mistakenly fed into the penny press. The result is a coin that's too light, too dark, or oddly shaped. Some 1987 pennies have been discovered with silvery tones, a clear sign they were struck on dime or foreign blanks. Others are smaller or thinner than usual. These anomalies aren't just interesting, they're extremely rare, and collectors will go to great lengths to acquire them. Just imagine stumbling upon one of these coins without realizing its significance. You might be counting out change for a parking meter or sorting through a jar of old pennies inherited from a relative. Something catches your eye. A glint, a blur in the lettering, a misaligned edge. You pause, pick it up, and take a closer look. The date reads 1987. You compare it to a regular penny, and you begin to notice subtle but undeniable differences. It's a thrilling realization that this tiny coin, overlooked by millions, could be worth more than you ever dreamed. The true value of these error coins is determined through professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. These companies examine coins under intense magnification, confirming the legitimacy and clarity of the error and assigning a grade based on the coin's condition. A high-grade 1987 error penny, particularly one with a dramatic and well-defined double die or a bold off-center strike, can soar in value. Coins preserved in mint state condition, showing minimal wear and maximum detail, are especially coveted. The difference in price between a worn coin and one in pristine shape can be staggering. As the rarity of these coins became known, collectors began actively searching for them. Coin dealers received inquiries. Auction houses saw increased interest. Forums, blogs, and social media posts began circulating photos and stories of the 1987 error penny. Each new discovery added to the mystique. Videos appeared online with collectors showcasing their finds, highlighting the minute differences and drawing attention to the value hiding in plain sight. The buzz grew stronger, and with it, the prices. These coins are more than collectibles. They represent a curious kind of beauty, the beauty of imperfection. They are reminders that even in the most precise systems, mistakes happen. And sometimes, those mistakes become more valuable than perfection itself. For numismatists, owning a 1987 error penny isn't just about money. It's about holding a tangible piece of minting history, a coin that slipped past the eyes of inspectors and into the hands of someone who might one day recognize its true worth. The popularity of error coins has only increased over time, and the 1987 penny stands as a shining example of why. It proves that even the smallest, most overlooked item can become a rare treasure. It turns ordinary change into a hidden opportunity. And it makes the simple act of looking at your money, really looking, something exciting. The hunt for these coins has become a movement. People now inspect their pennies with curiosity. They weigh them, study their edges, examine their surfaces under magnification. All because one mistake in 1987 created a coin that changed everything. As awareness spreads, the remaining error coins become even more valuable. Many have already been found and added to private collections. Others have been graded, sold, and locked away. That means the number of 1987 error pennies still circulating, or waiting undiscovered in jars and drawers, is shrinking. For collectors, that rarity only increases the allure. The chance of discovery becomes smaller, but the reward becomes greater, and what a reward it is. Today, a very rare 1987 US 1-cent penny with a significant and clearly defined mint error can fetch between $40,000 and $116,000 depending on the type of error, the coin's condition, and the market demand at the time of sale. It's a staggering value for something that once cost only a single cent. A value that far exceeds its original purpose, transformed by a single moment of imperfection during its creation. So the next time you come across a penny dated 1987, don't dismiss it. Look closer. Turn it in your fingers. Let your eyes search for anything out of the ordinary. Because one of those small copper coins, tucked quietly among the billions, could be something truly extraordinary. A coin with a story. A coin with history. A coin worth a fortune. In a world where most people barely glance at the coins they carry, there exists a hidden treasure few ever notice. It's small, copper-colored, and often ignored. Yet among the billions of pennies produced in modern times, one coin stands out not for its perfection, but for its imperfection, a coin whose flaw has become its fortune. That coin is the very rare 1997 US 1-cent penny. At first glance, it looks just like every other penny you've ever seen, but a closer inspection reveals a fascinating story of error, rarity, and value far beyond its humble 1-cent face. This coin, born in a year with no grand design changes or special commemorations, has captured the attention of collectors around the world, all because of what went wrong during its creation. The United States Mint struck hundreds of millions of 1-cent coins in 1997, continuing the familiar design featuring the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. These coins, made from copper-plated zinc, were meant to blend seamlessly into circulation, serving their basic monetary function without attracting attention. And for most, that's exactly what happened. They were passed along in transactions, saved in jars, lost under car seats, and forgotten in drawers. But among these countless coins, a handful were struck with rare errors, errors that would later make them some of the most sought-after modern pennies in numismatic history. The beauty of these 1997 error pennies lies in their imperfections. One of the most notable types of error is the double die, where elements of the design, particularly the inscriptions, "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date, 1997, appear doubled. This isn't a trick of the eye or a worn surface. It's a real, physical doubling that occurred during the die creation process. The doubling is often subtle, but when visible, it gives the coin a unique appearance that is instantly recognizable to experienced collectors. Coins with strong doubling in legible areas, especially the date and motto, are particularly rare and command high prices at auctions and private sales. Another stunning error found on some 1997 pennies is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank planchet is not properly aligned with the die, causing the design to be imprinted off-center. The degree of misalignment varies, but the most valuable off-center errors are those where a significant portion of the design is missing while still retaining a full, readable date. These coins are striking in appearance, often showing a blank crescent along the edge and a distorted image of Lincoln's face or the Lincoln Memorial pushed awkwardly to one side. It's an unmistakable flaw, and one that transforms an ordinary penny into a rare and desirable collectible. Equally captivating are the examples of 1997 pennies struck on the wrong planchet. These are coins that were mistakenly struck on blanks intended for other denominations or even foreign coins. The result is a penny that may be smaller, lighter, or silver in color instead of copper. These wrong planchet errors are extremely rare and highly sought after. Imagine holding a penny that doesn't look or feel quite right, one that was never supposed to exist, and realizing it's worth thousands of dollars because of that very fact. Discoveries like this often begin in the most unassuming ways. Someone empties their pockets at the end of the day or sorts through a jar of loose change. A coin catches their eye. Maybe it's a little off-center, or maybe the lettering looks strange. They take a closer look and see the date, 1997. Something doesn't feel right. The more they examine it, the clearer it becomes. They haven't found just another penny. They've found something remarkable. A rare error coin, quietly hiding in plain sight. As the interest in these coins has grown, more and more collectors have turned to grading services like PCGS and NGC to confirm the authenticity and condition of their finds. These services play a critical role in determining value. A coin with a clear and dramatic error that is also in mint state condition can command far more than a similar coin that's been heavily circulated. Graders look for sharp details, strong luster, and the clarity of the error itself. A high-grade 1997 error penny, certified and preserved, can easily become the centerpiece of a collection and the subject of fierce competition at auctions. The demand for these coins has only increased as word spreads through collector circles, coin forums, and social media. Videos of 1997 error pennies being discovered, unboxed, or sold for astonishing prices have gone viral. Collectors new and old are scouring their change, their old coin rolls, and their forgotten piggy banks in hopes of finding one of these hidden gems. The excitement is real, and it's growing. What makes the story of the 1997 error penny so compelling is its unexpectedness. There was no special minting that year. No commemorative design. Nothing to suggest that a 1997 penny would one day be worth more than a college tuition payment. But that's exactly what's happened. Through a rare combination of minting mistakes, limited quantities, and collector fascination, this ordinary coin has become extraordinary. For those fortunate enough to own one, the 1997 error penny is more than just money. It's a piece of history, a conversation starter, and a tangible reminder of how imperfections can sometimes lead to perfection in the eyes of collectors. Whether it's a bold double die, a dramatic off-center strike, or a mysterious wrong planchet specimen, each of these coins tells a story of how even the most automated, efficient systems can still produce something unexpectedly beautiful. And as more of these rare coins are found, graded, and sold, their legend continues to grow. Yet their availability shrinks. Most are already in the hands of collectors or tucked away in safes and vaults. That leaves just a few still out there, waiting to be discovered by someone who takes the time to look. So next time you come across a penny from 1997, take a second glance. Turn it over in your hand. Examine the details. Look for something unusual. You might be holding a coin that's far more than what it seems, a rare mistake, a hidden treasure, a story waiting to be told. Today, the value of a very rare 1997 US 1-cent penny with a notable error ranges from an impressive $32,000 to a staggering $96,000 depending on the type of error, its visibility, and the condition of the coin. That's the extraordinary truth behind a simple cent. A small coin, often overlooked, now worth more than most people would ever imagine, all because of a beautiful mistake made nearly 3 decades ago. In the fast-moving pace of modern life, few people take time to notice the small, everyday objects around them. And among those, perhaps nothing is more routinely overlooked than the humble penny. A single cent, copper in color, lightweight in the hand, and often tossed aside or forgotten. But what if one of those seemingly ordinary coins from recent years held a secret? What if a simple 2018 US 1-cent penny turned out to be something incredibly rare, a mistake that turned a common coin into a sought-after treasure? That's exactly what happened with the very rare 2018 1-cent penny, a coin that looks like any other but hides a story of error, rarity, and astonishing value. In 2018, the United States Mint struck billions of pennies across its various facilities. The coin featured the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union shield on the reverse, a design introduced in 2010 to symbolize national unity. The composition of the coin remained the same, a core of zinc coated in a thin layer of copper, weighing 2.5 grams. These coins were produced in mass quantities for circulation, with no fanfare or special minting announcements. Yet, within that massive production effort, a tiny number of error coins made their way out of the mint and into the hands of the public, coins that would later be discovered to hold tremendous value due to their rare and striking mistakes. These errors didn't jump out immediately. They didn't gleam with gold or sparkle with diamonds. Their beauty was more subtle, hiding in the details that only sharp-eyed individuals noticed. Among the most notable were the double die errors, coins where the letters or numbers appeared slightly doubled, giving the inscriptions a shadowed or layered effect. A close inspection of a rare 2018 penny might reveal a doubling in "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," or even the date itself. This type of error happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or shifted during production, leaving behind an unmistakable imprint of duplication. Though the average person would never see it, coin collectors train their eyes to detect these small signs of something very special. Off-center strikes were another standout error found on select 2018 pennies. These are coins where the planchet, the blank metal disc, was not properly aligned under the die at the time of striking. The result is a coin where part of the design is missing, shifted, or distorted. Sometimes Lincoln's face appears too close to the rim. Sometimes the Union shield on the reverse is only half visible. These off-center errors, especially when combined with a full visible date and mint mark, are highly prized by collectors. The more off-center the design while still retaining key features, the higher the coin's desirability. Even more fascinating are the few 2018 pennies discovered to have been struck on the wrong planchets. This happens when a planchet meant for another denomination, such as a dime, nickel, or even a foreign coin, is accidentally fed into the penny press. These errors result in coins that are the wrong size, weight, or color. A silver-toned penny struck on a dime planchet is an example of this type of mistake. These are the kinds of coins that stop collectors in their tracks. Their appearance is instantly unusual and their value, once authenticated, can climb quickly. Many of these coins were found by people who weren't even looking for them. Someone might be going through their change at a store or cleaning out an old drawer when a penny catches their eye. Something feels off. Maybe it's too shiny. Maybe the details look strange. They turn it over, check the date, 2018, and realize this isn't just another coin. It's something rare. Something valuable. Something that could be worth far more than 1 cent. The growing interest in these rare modern errors has led more people to get their coins professionally graded. Services like PCGS and NGC examine each coin under magnification, checking for authenticity, condition, and the specific type of error. Coins graded in mint state, with no signs of wear and excellent visual appeal, command the highest prices. A double die error with bold doubling and a pristine finish can become a star at auctions. Off-center strikes with full dates are similarly in demand. And wrong planchet coins? Those are nearly priceless to the right collector. The story of the 2018 error penny is also a reflection of how coin collecting has evolved. In the past, collectors focused heavily on older coins, those with decades or centuries of history behind them. But now, modern coins, even ones from just a few years ago, are drawing serious attention. Social media has played a big role in this shift. Videos showing rare pennies being found in circulation, coin roll hunting tutorials, and grading reveals have gone viral. They've inspired a new generation of collectors to look at their change with curiosity and excitement. The 2018 error penny is part of that movement. It's a symbol of the surprises that still exist in plain sight. What makes these coins so captivating is not just their rarity, but the story behind them. Each error coin is a moment when the system faltered. A moment when the machinery, the timing, or the materials didn't align perfectly. And instead of being discarded or destroyed, these flawed coins slipped through, unnoticed, unintentional, and now incredibly valuable. They are pieces of living history, minted not for collectors but for daily use, and yet their imperfections have transformed them into icons of the numismatic world. For those who found one, the experience is unforgettable. The realization that a coin worth just 1 cent could be worth tens of thousands is both thrilling and surreal. And for those still searching, the 2018-era penny represents hope, the idea that something extraordinary might still be out there, hiding in a pile of change, waiting to be discovered. Today, the value of a very rare 2018 US 1-cent penny with a clearly defined mint error ranges from $25,000 to $76,000 depending on the type of error, its condition, and its uniqueness. That's the kind of value that turns an everyday object into a life-changing discovery. A small copper coin that once cost almost nothing now stands as a shining example of how the smallest details can hold the greatest worth. So next time you come across a penny, especially one dated 2018, take a closer look. What seems ordinary might just be a hidden gem. And if you're lucky, that single cent could be the start of an extraordinary journey.